Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. This time, Bridal June. Perfect timing, dog! Perfect timing! What happens if I hit continue? Okay, so there's just nothing in the save slots. Alright, had to find out. Dog! Excuse me a minute. Anyway, as I was saying, Bridal June. I'm sure Masaki's gonna be happy about this, unless it's somebody else is winning. So, the empty beer bottles bounced and clattered in the plastic case as I stacked them. I looked up at the sky from under the hood of my raincoat. It was a dull, gloomy sort of day. Fine rain seemed to fall endlessly. Just my luck. It was the rainy season in June. I lifted another beer case and stacked it. The rain made it slippery to grasp, and if I dropped it on my foot, I was sure to break a few bones. There was more beer cases than usual. I do that all the time. Were versus was. The farmers gathered in Sene when it rained and they couldn't work in the paddy fields. Naturally, the alcohol consumed increased. Those drunks, I grumbled, then immediately felt embarrassed knowing I was only complaining not really because I resented them, but because I was in a bad mood. Knowing I was only complaining not really because I resented them, but because I was in a bad mood. Alright. Putting emphasis on the right words here. The reason I was in a bad mood was because of my own doing, so they didn't deserve to be judged. I knew that, but I still couldn't suppress the irritation I felt. I finished stacking the last beer case. There was something that I had done in the past 6 years in secondary school, so much so stacking had become automatic. Wait, what? Oh, this is Sine's point of view. I was gonna say, Masaki hasn't been here for the past 6 years in secondary school. Alright, let's read that again. I ducked under the roof and pulled off my hood. My hair was damp, musty, and heavy from the rain. Even with short hair, it was uncomfortable to have a wet mop sitting on my head, and I wonder how girls like Yuki and Mizuho who wear their hair long manage this weather. Or for that matter me, because I wear my hair long even though I'm a dude. Anyway, once I returned to the shop, I would have to start cleaning. But before that, I needed a break. I stuck my hand into my pocket to fill out my English flashcards. I had memorized half the vocabulary in the curriculum now, but I still wasn't good with idioms. Then I decided not to, in case they got spoiled by the rain. I pulled my empty hand out. It swung like a pendulum at my side, lax. I simply decided to look up at the sky, and took a moment to catch my breath from this strenuous exercise. Lately, I was finding these moments precious, moments where I could just stare into space blankly. That said a lot about my current state. I shook my head bitterly. Hey, get back to work. What about you, Yumi-san? I'm taking a break. That means both of us. Yumi Marino came out to stand next to me. She quietly watched the rain, so did I. I looked down at her face, which was just by my shoulder. She had shrunk. No, I had grown. 6 years had passed, of course, there would be change. I like having you here, Kohai. Oh, this is Kohai. Alright. Because you're efficient. Masaki's helpful, too. The city boy's still slow with the physical work. He's fast in taking orders and waiting, though. Really. There wasn't really much I could say about that. Also, if he could just learn to go with the flow, that would be great. Flow? Yeah, Masaki-kun uses his head a lot. When he's taking orders, when he's handling our customers, he depends on his brain to do everything. That doesn't sound like a bad thing to me. It's not. Just like our style. It's just not our style. It doesn't suit this place my husband and I made. I can't believe it's already been 10 years. 10 years. That was how long Yumi-san had been running Sene single-handedly after her husband, Sohei Marino, died in an accident. I didn't even remember what Sohei-san was like anymore. Even Sene said she was sometimes uncertain what her father really looked like. Kohai, you understand this shop. You know it inside out. Misaki will eventually get used to that too. I'm sure he will, but it would take a few years. And I don't think he will keep part-timing for us for that long. You never know. Come on, do you think that Towada would let him? No, not really. We both imagined Yuki holding Masaki by the collar. We laughed. Then we spent some time watching the rain in silence again. No flashcards today. It's raining. Why are you studying? I knew this was the reason she had come out to talk to me. This was the question she wanted to ask. For the entrance exams, of course. I know, but, you know. She glanced at me. She didn't say anything further, making me aware that I knew exactly what she meant. The comforting scent of broth and soy sauce wafted from the kitchen. Sine's already learned everything she needs to know about cooking for me. She only has to work on her signature flavor. The bento she brings tastes better every day. Did you notice? Notice what? That she's lying when she says they are leftovers. The lunch she makes for you, Kohai, is from scratch. She's developing her cooking according to your tastes. Just for you. I hesitated, unsure whether I should play dumb or admit that I had known for a while. Shall we get back to work? Yumi-san wasn't a bad person, but she really needed to mind her own business. The worst thing was that her opinions were usually truthful, and she could see straight through me. Wait. We heard the sound of drums coming from afar. For some reason, we could hear it clearly through the rain. That must be Nogami-san's wedding procession. Okay, so that's going to be the wedding in June already, or whatever it is. Fortunately for us, someone besides Yuki, and what's-his-face. I tried to stop her, but you can take a longer break if you want. See ya. See ya? Sane. Okay. Words. I was too late. Sane answered from the kitchen to Yumi's shout. I could hear her footsteps approaching. Go take a break. But I've still got work. The drums grew louder. I'll do it. You watch the procession with Kohai. Oh, yeah. Sane was still in her apron with kitchen sandals on her feet. Yumi-san smiled at her. You shouldn't have. Don't disappoint her by saying you won't go. What are you two talking about? Let's go. I grabbed hold of an umbrella that was propped by the door. Wait for me! Sane quickly took off her apron and passed it to Yumi. I felt a warmth on my right arm. Sane had come under the umbrella. Just like that, the sound of the rain, the smell of the air disappeared. The only thing I could focus on was the warm scent of the girl walking next to me, filling up the small, intimate space under the umbrella over our heads. It was intoxicating. Kohai? I could almost feel her breath brushing against my skin as she spoke. I wanted to turn around and look at Yumi-san, but I stopped myself. I could imagine the expression she wore right now. We made our way to the front, avoiding the puddle on our way. What are you talking about? About Masaki not being so great at physical work. He's really fast waiting tables and taking orders, though. That's exactly what Yumi-san said. Well, the two of us have done this together for a long time. Sane puffed out her chest proudly. Her words held more truth than she knew. Sane had learned everything she had to know by now. And someday she would take over the kitchen version of Sane. I had the sudden urge to take out my flashcards again. I was eager to memorize foreign vocabulary that I would probably never use in my life, simply because I was concentrating on that. Simply because while I was concentrating on that, I didn't have to think about anything else. Like thinking about how I should react to the way Sane felt about me. We could hear the sound of the drums. Over there! Her voice sounded clearly despite the rain and the drums. It's so pretty. Yeah. All the meaningless small talk. The newlyweds were making their way through the misty rain procession. Shiro, the wolf companion of our god, carried the newlyweds on his back, taking careful steps as he walked in the path. It appeared he had increased his size today to accommodate the two comfortably. The bride was shaded beneath a red umbrella. Her Shiro Muku gleamed white from afar. Shiro is wolf, right? Or white? It's either white or wolf, because both Shiro and the wolf are named that. Alright, I guess it's white. Anyway, whatever it is, it gleamed white from afar. A young boy and girl in school uniform held umbrellas over the couple's heads. Rain on their wedding day. It's a blessing. I get it. It's a perfect day if it's sunny, and it's a blessing if it's raining. Everything would be perceived as a symbol for happiness. To wish the married couple a happy life together for years to come. To hope their home would be a warm one. So many people come back here to get married. Well, you don't get a real god to bless your marriage anywhere else, I replied somewhat blandly. Weddings in Tagami town were a quiet ceremony. The bride and groom would be carried to Mount Okami in the sacred wolf's back. Then, when they reached the shrine of the mountain, Shiro, our Tochigami, would give them her blessing. There were no rice showers, no bouquets. It was just a simple ritual to hope for happiness. Shiro-sama was complaining that she was busy in June because of all the wedding processions she had to attend. The idea of a June bride came from the stories of Roman gods, so it wasn't something she was enthusiastic about. I find it strange people are eager to be blessed by Shiro-sama, though, knowing what she's like. But it works! They all turn out happy. I nodded. I had to acknowledge that every couple Shiro blessed had never divorced, nor had they been met with terrible misfortune. She looked so happy. Yeah, I didn't mean her, Sane said as she watched the young couple pass by and moved further and further away. Then I realized Sane wasn't referring to the bride. She was watching the two young children holding the umbrellas to shield the bride and groom. They'll be happy too. A blessing must be passed on to the next generation. In Tagami, there was another ritual that came with the wedding procession. We called it the Blessed Share. The two young children accompanying the bride and groom would be blessed in their shrine too. So that happiness would be shared and passed for generations to come. for the couple and their children, and the children to their children, and so forth. That had been the wish of every household for centuries. The red umbrella stood out in the gray rain. I will be, Sine whispered. She stopped without finishing her sentence. Then she rephrased it. We will be too. Alright, here's the intro. Do I need to show this again? Alright, springtime. Although June is essentially summer, at least in this part of the world. Like, mid-Atlantic United States. Anyway, it's begun. Do I want to end this off here? I guess I'll end this off here. Yeah, that's the introduction. This is Harvest December. My name is Dragonite. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.